I remember everything apart from the minutes I was on the ground. It's been very challenging, but first and foremost, it was about getting back into a normal life. The family was the most important and still is. And then second was the football, of course, after I knew that everything was safe.
Born only 4 months before Denmark's famous Euro '92 triumph, it was clear very early on that a young man by the name of Christian Eriksen was set to play a key role in Denmark's future.
My first game as under 17 national team coach. Played against Sweden, so he's getting a pass, opening up his right foot, perfect diag. 5 minutes later, opening up his left foot, perfect diag. So that's where I just thought, okay, this is a special player.
It felt, especially with the long and illustrious connection that Ajax have had with Danish players, when he arrived, it felt like they wanted to mould him into something. But what Eriksen is a very practical player, so very much in the Ajax tradition. You know, he's got great skills, but skills that he doesn't really use for his individual benefit, but he's always really used for the team.
I think when Christian came to Tottenham, he was quite quiet, to be honest. But then after the first training session, you knew, you thought, wow, he can play.
Hit by Eriksen! It's fantastic!
I think Christian possibly is the best player, best professional I've ever managed. In terms of attitude, determination, ability, had the whole package.
You talk to old school scouts, and it's that, oh, Christian Eriksen's too slow, he's too unathletic. But when he came to Spurs and he showed that he could be a difference maker, I think it really meant the world to him. It really showed that, you know, not only can I make this work, but I can make this work at Spurs. And I can make this work at Spurs with a manager like Mauricio Pochettino, who's constantly talking about, you know, athleticism and effort and physicality. And I think Eriksen was just a critical part of that Spurs side, which, let's face it, should have won the Premier League the year Leicester won it.
At international level, Eriksen continued to shine. His stunning hat-trick in a 5-1 playoff victory over the Republic of Ireland sent Denmark to the 2018 World Cup. And after 7 successful years in the Premier League, Eriksen switched Spurs for Antonio Conte's Inter, winning the Serie A title in 2021.
I was in my house, and I was alone and to watch the game. And when happened this situation, and I remember very well that I cried a lot, and I called my brother, and it was very bad. It was very bad.
Of course, that day was very strange day. We were looking forward to this day for so long, and all of a sudden, suddenly, the whole thing just changed in seconds. But I think that picture with the whole team covering Christian just shows the togetherness I think we have in the squad.
You know, some people saw it as it's a way of giving him privacy. I like to think of it as a way of giving him warmth and giving each other warmth and sustenance. You know, this awareness that you're scared, you don't know what's going on, but you're ultimately reminded that this could be you, and this is your friend, this is your teammate. I thought there was a ton of symbolism in that.
I don't know what I believed at the time. I was very concerned about his health and just for him to be healthy again and to live a normal life.
Amazingly, just 7 months on from that day, Eriksen signed for Brentford after making a full recovery.
I, of course, used a lot of time on the phone with him before he signed, so a lot of talking about, first, of course, not to convince him, but to tell him about the project and what we're doing and catching up from old times and so on. So that was really good.
And here is the moment that we have all been waiting for, that Christian Eriksen has been waiting for. A sight many thought we'd never see, a moment we thought couldn't possibly happen. Christian Eriksen making his competitive return to action, and just listen to the reception.
It felt special and was emotional. You could tell by the reception he received from not only our fans but also the away fans was outstanding.
What he did at Inter and at Antonio Conte actually was broaden his game a little bit. You know, now he can work in a deeper role in midfield. It's something that I think offers him longevity in his career as he moves into his 30s.
That is the delivery they've been waiting for.
It wasn't long before Eriksen made his much-anticipated Denmark comeback, and his impact was instant.
I remember it was quite a crazy moment because we were 2-0 down, I think, and had a bad first half. Then Christian came on and he scored a fantastic goal, and everyone was just like, yeah, he's back.
In July 2022, Eriksen signed for Manchester United to link up with another man with Ajax connections, Erik ten Hag.
I mean, there were, I think, a few dissenting voices when United struggled in the early weeks of the season, but it's become clear that he's exactly the organiser and exactly the sort of player that they need.
He's an incredible footballer. Obviously, I think he's 30 years old now, and he's still playing to the level that he's playing at. And after everything that's happened, he's one hell of a player and a hell of a guy as well.
It's a miracle. I mean, this just shows you how determined and how brave he is to want to continue his career after such a devastating event. You know, as I know him so well, it's no surprise where he is now. You know, he's back to the top of the game in the Premier League and looking forward to a World Cup.